I was rather young when episode 1 was released. I was like 4 years old at the time, so I never got a chance to see it until like a few years later when I was old enough. And I was first introduced to Star Wars. It was the prequel trilogy. I never watched the originals at that point because I didn't know what Star Wars was. So there's that. So when I saw the first Star Wars film, I was impressed by the CGI, the visuals, and all that. But even then, I noticed that the dialogue, it's expository dialogue. It's not realistic talk dialogue. Here's the thing. Compare this to episode 2. I like episode 1 better. But there's a reason why I kind of like episode 1 is because at least the dialogue sounded somewhat interesting, trying to tell me what this world was like and all this mystery and whatnot. And I gotta be embarrassingly honest, I kind of did like the title The Phantom Menace because it kind of emphasized like the whole uh who's the bad guy here, in my opinion. Since if you checked out my interpretation of Star Wars series, you'll notice why I might say why I like the title Phantom Menace, because you don't know who's the villain, even though you can make the argument Sidious is the villain. If you really delve deeper into the Star Wars lore, you would notice some things about the Star Wars lore and all of that. But yeah, I get why a lot of people hate episode 1 because of Jar Jar Binks. Like, even when I was young, when I first saw him, I thought this character was slightly annoying. Like, I just zoned him out. Like, I had developed the ability to completely forget he was even there. Uh, I don't know if that works now. I haven't watched the film in a while. But and for people who are saying that the movie lacked at least one sense of humor, there was actually one humor scene I thought was kind of funny. Is where Qui-Gon Jinn and Jar Jar Binks are walking through the swamp looking for Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon Jinn says, "The ability to speak does not make one intelligent. Now get out of here." I was laughing. I was saying, okay, you just summed up Jar Jar Binks' role in this movie completely perfectly. The character no one wants to see, everyone just get out, you're not intelligent, or anything. And I thought Liam Neeson did a good job playing as Qui-Gon Jinn, in my honest opinion. Like, I gotta be honest, like, even though everyone hated this movie, it earned over $1 billion in the box office, especially when it was re-released in 3D. So, so it's now to this day the highest-grossing Star Wars film, and I bet a lot of people are pissed off about that. So, and most likely it won't be until The Force Awakens release in 5 to 6 weeks from now. But I'm talking about episode 1. Now, I already talked about this character, so you can look up that video in my channel. Darth Maul. Everyone says this is the best guy to come out of the episode 1 saga episode. I was like impressed by, my God, Darth Maul looks badass and whatnot. I was generally surprised at how badass Darth Maul was. Like, when I first saw him, I was wondering, who is this guy? Like, I want to know more about him. And then he gets killed off. Well, not really killed off. He gets chopped in half and somehow survives. I don't think they ever explained how he managed to survive that and went to a different planet in the Clone Wars series. They should have explained that. But I will admit the dialogue can be very expository at times. But I gotta be honest, I can't help but feel a little intrigued by the. And this movie was for kids, yet this was talking about politics and whatnot and all this trade negotiation disputes. Like, since I was a kid, I didn't know what the heck they were talking about. But now that I'm old enough and I know what they're talking about, the dialogue doesn't really bother me as much as it used to. And I'll get to episode 2 next week. But like, yeah, like this movie holds a special place in my heart. In fact, the prequel trilogy overall holds a special place in my heart since they introduced me to Star Wars. This movie introduced me to Star Wars and made me want to watch the original trilogy when I found out about them. So I can't really absolutely hate this movie with a passion since it did get me into Star Wars, and it really does hold a special place in my heart. Well, everyone, this was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate, and stay tuned for more.